The two names that I think are most likely for the final saga of One Piece is either the Pirate King saga or the Road to Laugh Tale saga, which is also the name of these little lore compilation volumes that Oda released in Shonen Jump just a few days ago, which I definitely think you guys should check out. So I'm gonna start by discussing what I think the last moments of Wano will be, along with what's going to kick off the final saga of the series. As we know, Green Bull is making his way towards the Flower Capital, where everybody is having like the biggest party ever. And I do think there's going to be a short dispute between Green Bull and the Straw Hats. But at the end of the day, it's Green Bull, an admiral by himself, and although the admirals are definitely strong, as we can see from the last chapter, there is no way Green Bull is going to stand a chance between Luffy, the Straw Hat Pirates, and the entire alliance that took down two Emperors of the Sea. During this confrontation is when I believe Green Bull will inform everybody on what's going on outside of Wano, what's been happening at the Reverie, along with Blackbeard and other things as well. There's also this theory going around, I don't know where it started, but basically the theory is that Green Bull will be the one to revegetate and bring plant life back to Wano. But Green Bull doesn't seem to be a good guy or somebody that would go out of his way to do it. So what I think is that due to the short battle that Green Bull has with the Beast Pirates and maybe some of the Straw Hat Pirates or Alliance, he's kind of unintentionally revegetating parts of Wano. So we may not notice it right away, but as Green Bull leaves Wano, I assume with the Beast Pirates, I think we're gonna see Wano looking a lot different. Something else that I think is going to happen very soon, either at the end of Wano or the beginning of the next arc, is a confrontation with the SSG. This is when the members of the Straw Hat crew will finally have their fateful encounter with Dr. Vegapunk, who we've been waiting forever to see. We will finally get to see some of the secrets of the devil fruits revealed, with how they're made and maybe where they come from. Hopefully from this we can learn and get more insight about Luffy's fruit as well. Something funny that I think could happen is Vegapunk riding in his own little robot machine, kind of like Frankie General, and we get like Usopp, Chopper, Luffy, and maybe even Frankie getting those starry eyes, kind of just amazed at all of Vegapunk's cool technology. It's something I could see all of them thinking is cool, even though Vegapunk is using it to attack them. Which brings up another question, is finally getting to learn about Dr. Vegapunk's character. Is he a good person that's a slave to the world government, or is he a bad person that's going to be a problem in the future? And also, why is he so smart? Speaking of the SSG, how strong do we really expect them to be? If the world government thinks that the SSG is powerful enough to replace the warlord system, then they must be pretty damn strong. It really makes me wonder if they are going to be a significant obstacle to the Straw Hat crew and whoever else is fighting in the final war. I'm really hoping it's not a number situation where we finally get the reveal of the SSG and they kind of just end up being throwaway fodder characters, even though they're built up to be very strong. After we meet Vegapunk, I think the island we go to next is Elbaf. Elbaf will end up being the island for the fateful confrontation between the Straw Hat Pirates and the red-haired pirates. And I also think the Blackbeard Pirates have a role to play here, so don't worry, I'm gonna get into that. So this is going to be the arc where Usopp has his moment to shine. And although I think Luffy and Zoro will also get a large amount of attention in this arc respectfully, I think this is the arc where Usopp finally becomes a brave warrior of the sea. An idea that I really like about how Usopp gets his epithet Brave Warrior of the Sea is with his fight through Van Augur. The idea is that Van Augur ends up being the member of the Blackbeard Pirates that takes out Usopp's father Yasopp. And Usopp is finally forced to take the road less traveled, which is to face off against Van Augur without running away, to fight without budging an inch. Another idea that I have for Usopp getting that Brave Warrior of the Sea title is through Loki. Loki in mythology is known to be a very mischievous, conniving, lying, and just cowardly god out of all of the other gods. So what I think will happen is Usopp is going to be placed in a conflict with this giant that is much like himself. And in order for him to finally become that brave warrior, he is going to have to fight Loki, defeat him, and in a way conquer the worst parts of himself. And after that battle, Usopp pulls through, wins, and the giants recognize him for it. When it comes to Mihawk, I think he's aligning himself with the red-haired pirates as a kind of scapegoat because the Marines are now chasing after him now that he's not a warlord. It makes sense for him to ally himself with a strong rival because he doesn't want all that trouble. This is how Mihawk is going to be with the red-haired pirates and how Zoro and him are going to have their fateful confrontation. The battle against Mihawk will finally reveal the secrets of the Black Blades, and by the end, Zoro will come on top being a much stronger swordsman, the strongest in the world. Another thing I think Elbaf is going to reveal is more about the sun god, the ancient sun god, and how it all connects to the giants of Elbaf. I'm sure they're going to be hailing Luffy as a god or some sort of chosen one, which Luffy is probably not going to like too much. For the final road poneglyph that the Straw Hats need to get to Laugh Tale, I think it's either going to be with Blackbeard or it's going to be on Elbaf, which again is hinted to in the Road to Laugh Tale, which Oda published just a few days ago. I think the Blackbeard pirates are going to make an appearance towards the end of the Elbaf arc after all of the internal confrontation between Usopp and the Giants. The battle will end up being for the final road poneglyph of the series, and once the Straw Hats come out on top, they will finally be making their way to Laugh Tale. Now, a very big question arises here. Will there be a final war before the Straw Hats reach Laugh Tale, or will they go to Laugh Tale before the final war? What will end up being the catalyst that triggers the final war of the series against the world government? Once the Straw Hats get to Laugh Tale, what will Luffy decide to do with the information that he receives about the Void Century, about the D-Clan, and about the secrets of the world? We all know there's going to be laughing, there's going to be joy, but I also think there's going to be some sort of philosophical struggle based on the information that they get. And that philosophical struggle is going to play into the end of the series. The end of the series.
Hello, darkness.
But there's still a lot more information to get before the end of the series, so make sure you guys are subscribed and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. Some people think that the events that happened at the Reverie is going to be what triggers Luffy to attack the world government, but personally I think it's a bit too early for that. We should at least go to Elbaf first before the final war. To be honest, I want it to be a little bit before we get to the final war because, you know, the whole Onigashima raid, I feel like we've been in a war for the past 3 years. I'm totally fine with waiting 1 or 2 more years before that final war of this series. To me, out of all the options, I think the most likely one is that Luffy becoming the Pirate King is going to be the ultimate factor in starting the final battle. And I think that all of the leaders of the world are going to unite when this happens, and they are going to try to eradicate Luffy and everything that he represents, just like they did in the Void Century. Of course, Luffy is not going to allow that, and he's going to be fighting back hard with everybody by his side. I expect the final war to take place around Mary Joa after we go all the way back around the world, and of course the war ending with the destruction of Mary Joa and the Red Line. After the war is over and the entire world is liberated, we will then see the people of Sword, a secret marine organization, build a more fair and just system. This end and the final saga of the series is when we will see the accumulation of all of the Straw Hats' dreams finally becoming realities. Luffy will become the Pirate King, of course, along with his other secret dream we don't know of yet. Zoro will become the world's greatest swordsman. Sanji will finally get to see the All Blue. Nami, after maybe a time skip, will finally have drawn the entire map of the world. Usopp will be a great warrior of the sea. Chopper will be able to cure any illness. Robin will finally know the secrets of the Void Century and the world. And Brook, of course, will get to finally see Laboon again after a quick trip back around to Mary Joa. And of course, don't forget that the ship that made it all possible was Frankie's dream ship that was able to carry the Pirate King and his crew around the world. Going back to the political system, I'm really curious to see how Oda plans to rebuild all of it after the current establishment is destroyed. Every country, regardless of the political system, has some sort of armed force to protect it. Maybe instead of one ruling force like the world government, we will see all of these different countries being independent from each other without one ruling oppressive force over them. I honestly really don't think that the world government is going to reestablish itself. The Reverie will probably still be a thing because I think it's important for all the different countries to come together, but one single world government ruling over the entire world I think goes in the face of everything Luffy stands for and everything the whole series is really set out to destroy. As pessimistic as this sounds, I don't really think there can be a quote-unquote good world government in the One Piece world. It's after the fall of this establishment that we'll finally get to see the biggest party that's ever been had in the entire series, and everybody is going to be there. Finally, I think there's going to be a time skip after all of this where we will get to see the Straw Hats after a lot of adventuring, a lot of journeying over the years where they have all aged, and of course, we will be seeing Luffy with the iconic eye patch. Yes, I do think it is going to be Luffy who wears the eye patch at the end of the series. I think we can all agree that there's really a lot to look forward to in the near future, and I cannot wait to go through it with all of you guys. I made a lot of crazy predictions here, and to be honest, a lot of them might not come true because Oda usually always tends to go a new and unexpected route and surprise the hell out of me. I recently made an update video on the One Piece live action, giving you guys all of the information we currently have. If you're interested, you can watch it by clicking right here.